Okay, so these are going to be the top 10 steps for weight loss. I feel that you can see results in as little as 30 days if you at least make these changes. So, number one is going to be 10K steps as a minimum. You can always go higher if you want, but 10K is like the base minimum, I feel like, to try to aim and get that daily. You can always take breaks and things like that if you want to take at least like 1 or 2 days off. But 10K steps, just walking. The good thing about that is most iPhones, I feel like all iPhones actually have the built-in step counter, so you can track it that way. You can get a fitness watch, and what I noticed, it takes about an hour and 40 minutes to get 10K steps. So if you want to do it consistently, like do it the 1 hour and 40 minutes straight and just get out the way, you can do that. That gets up to 10K. Or if you want to spread it out, do some walking in the morning, do some walking in the afternoon, or just throughout your day in general. That helps. And walking is super underrated because it's easy. You're not doing any running, any like super strenuous activities, things like that. It's just walking. You can do it inside, outside, wherever you like. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is to hydrate. Drink lots of water. I would suggest at least like 4 bottles minimum. If you're not a big water drinker, I think 4 bottles is like a good point. You can probably start with having 1 or 2 early, maybe another one in the afternoon, and then at night. That's if you're just not great at drinking a lot of water. I think 4 is pretty easy and doable. You can always aim for more water, like up to 6 to 8 bottles, 16 ounces. That works. Tip number 3 is going to be fasting. Fasting is very underrated, and I notice that it helps a lot. Intermittent fasting, where you don't have to fast completely, but you go basically hours without fasting. Sometimes we just assume that we're hungry, want to eat breakfast. A lot of times we could just be dehydrated, things like that. But fasting, what I used to do was I wouldn't eat until maybe in the evening. I'll have my first meal in the evening after work or something like that. But fasting up to 12 to 16 hours is super beneficial. It helps decrease cortisol and insulin spikes, things like that. So it's super helpful with weight loss. If you can try it, try it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be all day. It can be 8 hours minimum, or just taking a break at least, not eating so frequently. That helps with insulin spikes and things like that. So the next tip is, this is optional. You can take detoxes, water detoxes like lemon, apple cider vinegar, whatever type of detox you want. They also have some where they have like detox pills online, but I would just recommend to use that safely. Let's see. The next tip is to stay consistent. A lot of people, I feel like, once they don't see results, they get frustrated and they want to quit, or they might, they feel like things are not going as quickly as they want. But if you're actually doing these things, that I'm telling you, it's going to make a difference. There's no way that you can do these things, take 10K steps, fast, drink a lot of water, things like that, and not see any results. So just stay consistent, even in the midst of like doubt or anything like that. After that, I would suggest, as far as food, I think that's a lot of people's main problem or biggest issue is cutting back on food. Some people can work out, get the things in, but then they still eat very bad, or they eat, I'm not going to say food is bad. So basically for this tip is pick at least 3 to 4 of your favorite meals. It can be whatever you want it to be. I'm not going to say like pizza and things like that, but like at least 3 of your favorite meals that you know that you don't want to cut out. For me, there were certain things I loved ice cream. I loved eating ice cream. So that was something that I would incorporate into that. And you can track your calories, As long as you stay under a certain amount of calories, that's helpful. So basically, picking 3 foods you know you want to keep and rotate that. Keep your meals simple and not too overcomplicated and things like that. So that way you're not eating fast food out all the time and things like that. The next one is changing your self-talk, positive mindset. That's it. That also goes into like staying consistent. You know, like I said, when you get those feelings of you feel like you're not seeing progress. There's been plenty of times where I just assumed I wasn't making progress, like things weren't changing. Even though I knew I was putting in the effort and the work, it seemed like things were not changing. So basically just redirecting your mindset and staying in a positive mindset. And that leads into the next tip, which is stop comparison. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself, your body, anything to anybody else. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody does things differently, and everybody's body adapts at a different pace. So seeing somebody who you feel like is either above or below you or comparing bodies is never helpful. And another thing, this is just like a side note, basically when it comes to weight loss, don't do it for anybody else. Don't do it for, to get validation from people. Don't do it for a guy. Do it for yourself. And a lot of people, I feel like, even myself, I've made the mistake of where I've gotten down to a certain weight or I've gotten down to how I wanted to look, and I was doing it for all the wrong reasons. And then, yes, it might work out it might look good for however many months, a year, and next thing you know, I fall off again because the reason I was doing these things wasn't specifically for myself. It was just for whatever reason. So yeah, don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. The next one, which is number 9, is going to be cut out alcohol. Alcohol is a big, big, big one. And I know a lot of people like to drink. They like to enjoy, their drinks and stuff on the weekends or whenever. But that is like the biggest thing that's going to cause inflammation. It's going to show up in your face, your body super quick. And you might not realize it one weekend. You might not realize it the second weekend, third weekend. But the thing that I try to keep in mind, whatever you do within that month, whatever you're eating, whatever bad habits you're doing within that month is going to show up in your next month. So if you're spending that month drinking every weekend, you're eating out, you're doing all these things, you might not see it in that month, but when the next month comes around, you're gonna be like, damn, when did I get? Why am I so bloated? Why is my face breaking out? Because all of those things that you did prior to is gonna show up in the next month. So cutting out alcohol, cutting out juices in general is very helpful. Just simply drinking water. I drink water, coffee, tea. Juices, not so much. If I did want juice, it was usually orange juice. But all those sugary drinks, like, I don't know, I can't even name them because I don't drink juices anymore. Like Minute Maids, all those things, they're no good for you. They're just wasted calories. You think that you're drinking like the serving size, which is probably like a little bit, but you're getting 300 calories. And most people, they're not drinking the serving size. They're drinking double, triple that. So you're just getting an extra 600 to 700 calories just from a cup of juice. Like, it's not worth it, and it doesn't have any benefits for you. And the last one is like 30 to 45 minutes or even up to an hour of just other movement. That can be anything, like just dancing. You can do any type of like resistance training. Minimum I feel like 30 minutes is fine. Just at least moving your body. Just whatever you like to do. Because basically the mistake that people make is, yeah, they might get their 10K steps, they might go to the gym, but the rest of the day they're not really doing anything else. They're kind of just sitting down or whatever. If you have like a job that's where you're not super active, that can affect you, and you'll be like, well, why am I not seeing any results? Because say you work at an office job or a call center, you're sitting down majority of the day. Just getting a minimum of 30 minutes, that I think that will work. So I feel confident about these tips. I think that they've worked for me in the past, and I really believe that if you do these things, at least even if you pick 5, you're going to see different results. I would say give it 30 days. Your body's going to look different. But the main tip I would say is stay consistent. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, stay consistent, do these things, and you're definitely going to see results.